Welcome to Divine Honey Podcast. I'm your host, your friend Tamika Johnson,
And
and
I'm your
here
co-host,
my co-host. What's your name?
Mr. OG Tim Johnson.
Now, if this is your guys' first time tuning in, this show is about human experiences. This includes thought-provoking conversations, and most importantly, our Divine Honey guests who come on. They share stories about love, life, journey, and purpose. Now, if you guys are watching live or on the replay, please leave comments, blow up that comment section, get those likes up. Engagement is more than welcome. What up, Tim?
What's poppin'?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year's.
Yes.
I did got a
For
question though. When people say it's like a new year, have you ever noticed when people say Happy New Year's instead of like Happy New Year's? Isn't that
yes.
weird? You ever notice
It's
that?
well, I tend to do it too. I did a post and I said Happy New Year's with an S. I don't know.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's a single year, singular, right?
it is a singular year. Let us be great. Let us say
My
years.
bad. Hey, my bad. You got it. You got it.
I'm playing, but it is new year. You see, I got my hat on.
I see you. I see you.
Oh, yes. I did not make it on New Year. I actually on New Year Eve, I went to a friend's house. I got Benihanas and we're
Mm.
having drinks. I looked at my watch at 11:30. I said, "Oh, she ain't gonna make it." And I finished my drink. They're just talking. Tell me why I just got up, went upstairs in my friend's guest room, and I just went to sleep in my Beyonce shirt and in this hat. And I woke up like just like this with a blanket over me.
Ah, it's tired, boss.
I was tired. How was yours?
It was good. We went over to my best friend Zach's crib. Me and Zach been kicking it since middle school. Longest friend, probably him and Justin. But yeah, we went over to Zach's crib, put in a refrigerator down in his basement, and then I think we left. Callie set up the little like a balloon fall from the ceiling for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So we did that like at like around 9, like 8:30 maybe around 8:30. Kids started tripping. We probably left at like 10:15 and then came home and went to sleep by like 10:30.
We growing up.
Yeah.
I think
No,
we're just getting rested for the new year.
yeah,
Year.
that's a fact.
No, that's a fact. Shout out, just a key at heart, Brienne. Thank you for tuning in.
What's good?
It's good. That's Tim's wife. So my sister-in-law. Yeah, she's a big party animals. Yes. I think we're just getting older.
That's it.
We need our sleep.
Older,
But
more mature, wiser.
yes. So again, I want to just still like welcome you to the show, Tim. I knew I needed another person with me, and I just, I bounce all my opinions off my brother, you guys. Okay, just so you guys know, we're brother and sister. So you see, there's Tamika Johnson
Oh, Landon's here
and
too.
Tim Johnson. We're brother and sister. Um, I just bounced some ideas. I was like, hey, what do you think about me getting a co-host? And what'd you say, brother?
What I say? Let's get it. I mean, what's up?
I was surprised that you would like offer yourself. I
Shit,
was
I'm trying to
really
make it. You heard? We trying to get to 1 million streams. You feel me? We trying to get to all that, man. We trying to take it there.
yes. Oh, we have Landon Peppers on.
LPZ was good.
What's good? Thank you for joining, nephew. Thank you.
That's the
Uh,
oldest son.
yes, he is the oldest, the big OG, the big brother that keeps Kingston in line.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Well, I wanted to kind of just start off before we get into our, topic. We kicked off the end of the year with a family affair with you, me, and mom, and I just want to kind of like debrief. What were your thoughts on it?
Before that, though, let's give a shout out to that watch you got on your wrist. You know what I'm saying? We trying to get over to Team iPhone, but she keep them that Android alive. That thing is icy though.
It is nice. Here's the thing. The people who think they're better than people in life are Android users, Stanley Cup drinkers. Who else think they're better?
Shit, y'all different. Android users are different. That's all it is.
Wait, look. Don't be a hater.
My bad. But back to the topic. I thought it was solid. Cartelius knows how to speak in front of people and people are watching. She shared enough to where you could gain insight on her life. Obviously, we only had like an hour. I don't think we spoke for too long, but I think if we were to do it again, it could get a little deeper. Who knows? That could be something in the future. Overall, though, I thought it was good. She shared a lot. I think if you've been close to us and a part of our lives for a while, you knew that she was a drug addict. I think some things that were left out were the fact of I was blanketed by a lot of the stuff, and you took on most of that. The impact where she didn't share the impact for me, it didn't happen until I was older, and I was more aware of the fact of what was going on versus when I was younger. I just knew about eviction and things like that, but I didn't know the depth of everything that she was speaking on until I got older.
I'll say that part. Well, let me start. I was nervous. Let me start from the beginning about her coming off. Even though whatever relationship me and my mom have, our mom have, and past things, I still want my mom represented in a good light. I don't want to embarrass her, and it's always only to help. So just having those conversations beforehand. What was your purpose? It's just to help people.
Right.
And so we didn't get too deep, and I think that's for another time. I would love for us to go there when she's ready. I think she did well speaking. I thought the part too where, and I did question her on this, the part where she said, you had it the worst. And it's not, when I say this, it's not a tit for tat. That doesn't matter. It's not an award of who went through worse. That's not what
you can have it. You can have it.
Yeah. But it was interesting because like you said, I felt like I felt like I blanketed a lot of things. And maybe she did too in her own way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's all perspective. Right. So I knew everything that was going on from a young age, and I seen all the bad things. So it was interesting that she thought that. After the show, it did bother me. And so I did ask her. And she said, I said, do you think Tim really had it worse? And she said, yes. And I just asked why. And she said, because I disappointed him.
Mm.
So I had to kind of process that because that's her truth, right? Mm-hmm. I wasn't angry. I was just trying to understand. So 2 things that I thought about was, well, one thing that was brought to my attention, she kind of did say this. She said this about me. She goes, but you had Charlotte. But she forgets you had me. Right. I was your Charlotte. So maybe that's why she would think that, because but you had me. Okay. Another thing is sometimes the oldest, if they're handling things, they're fine.
Right.
So since maybe she's so used to me handling things, that means I'm fine. So it could be a lot of things. So that's her truth. But that was the one thing I found interesting in the conversation.
Yeah, psychologically, it can get altered because as the oldest child, you were necessarily speaking with words. It was more so actions. So a lot of your behavior that you were exhibiting while, let me think, even if I think of all the apartments we lived in, all of your behaviors were speaking volumes of I need you, I need you, I need you. Give me support, give me support. However,
Mhm.
she doesn't understand what that means because you weren't verbally speaking it, but your behaviors were communicating it.
I never thought about it that way. 100%. Because there was times I was totally acting out,
Yeah.
you guys losing my shit.
And her upbringing, as we know, or what we've learned about, is togetherness, take care of. She made it sound like she was taking care of her mom, but we don't know the extent of how much help was ever given. It might have just been at times versus all the time. So her parenting style come to us, and then drugs take over, because she did say that she was an addict, and we know if you research what an addict is, it is an illness. She spoke to the illness part of being an addict, so that takes over your life. However, we still need parents, so it's hard. It's, it's one of those thin lines where it gets complicated, and it's challenging, because at the end of the day, we just want support from our parent. And in our case, what do we know what the support's going to look like? We don't know. It's like rolling a dice.
100%. I think another thing was I asked, that's why I would like her to come back on when she's ready and at that point, possibly. I asked, what was there any triggers? Was there some things you can reflect back that happened in your life that led you down this road? And she said no, she was just partying and having fun.
And they was party animals.
It was the 80s. You ever think about that? It was the 80s. You have the crack epidemic. They didn't know
Yeah,
this stuff could do this to them.
right.
And think about many people in that town. They was all, you didn't think that you was doing it like it was. So a lot of us have the same story with our parents that
Facts.
are, that came out the 80s.
Hmm.
So interesting. And another thing I saw was a person, like, what I did love is her coming and just sharing her truth, and us not like really interjecting so much, just asking questions and not pushing back, and kind of being is it a little like I wasn't like putting my 2 cents in,
Sure.
because it was her truth, and it was just, we do forget sometimes our parents are people too. They have a
Right.
past, they're humans. So it was just giving that. But did you get any feedback from anybody about the episode?
Not for real.
Hmm.
But I do reflect on from what something that you said about the disappointment. I think from when you and I talked, I think about the fact of most of my stuff is the most recent.
Yes.
So I think that's where her hurt comes, that she disappointed me because mine is the most recent.
I agree with that. I can
So
see that.
we propped her a year in advance before we went to Mexico. She didn't make it. And then I think that honestly that, like, I still love my mom. It's my mom at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody ever going to replace her. However, that's the most recent event that has occurred in all of our
Mhm.
relationships. So I think that's what sits on her. She'll probably stay on her heart till she dies.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So
I agree. I think I think you nailed it on the head. That will for sure stay on her heart, because she almost lost you. She
right.
felt like she almost lost her son over this. Like, I talked to her. She thought she lost her child, and it was the panic.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with that. But overall, oh, well, I was saying the feedback part. I did get a little feedback, which was interesting. I saw some stuff in the comments like, thanks for sharing your truth and this and that. But someone said they thought that she would go deeper.
Mm,
Um, I didn't know how it was gonna go, and of course I was nervous.
sure.
Um, but I'm glad it was kind of more just high level of just seeing someone really just still in the fight.
Sure.
And wanting to change. Sometimes we think of people who are in addiction, they're just doing drugs and they don't give a shit and this and this and that. But just seeing someone fighting a real demon, and every day's a fight, but you're like seeing it in real time
Right.
and just inspiring someone to keep going. I think that was really just the message. But I think at another time, I'm even dropping nuggets of more like therapy,
Right.
talk therapy. So she can have those conversations, but sometimes you got to deal with them first
Yeah.
before doing it on a platform. So,
And also by the, you know what I'm saying, it's the first one. You don't want to jump into the deep end if you're not ready to swim too. So and saying that, you know, it's just a metaphor for the fact of if we were to ask a question and then took a sideways turn, we're also live. You feel what I'm saying? So how do we bring it back? So it's like there's certain things on doing certain things in interviewing our mom where we know that there's a history for all of us. If we uncover and peel back one of those wounds and then it just goes haywire, how does that look? You know what I'm saying? So next time, for the next time, I think if we have more pointed questions to get some of the answers that we're looking for, I think that'd be better. But that would just be something we prep.
We definitely have to prep, and it can't be live.
Yeah, it'd be something just to be edited.
If we need to, like, it can, but we always want to keep it real on here and be transparent, but at the same time, with anything,
you never know.
You never know. It could go.
Yeah,
real
quick. So,
but I'm happy we did it, and it was. But she's getting a lot of views on that, and I really like that. So
yeah,
and I hope it touches someone.
So if you haven't already, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share.
Please, y'all, please.
Trying to get on my Wallow $1 million worth of game. If you haven't, go ahead. We're sponsored by nobody currently, but if you have a sponsor out there, please go ahead and give us one. We will take any and all of them.
Any and all. Okay, well, let's get into this new year. What was it? We got first. Let's start with these resolutions, and for sure. Oh my gosh! So I hope. What's your resolution? Let's start with you.
My resolution this year, and we're trying to get this like for real. Like I know this is going to sound like something that everybody always says, but like for real, we're trying to get this debt knocked off. Like straight up. Hoping to get my car paid off by like October. If not, it'll be by the end of the year. But yeah, we're trying to get this debt rolling. You know what I'm saying? Get it off me. Once that car is paid, we can get to these credit cards and get them paid down. So we're trying to get this debt down.
Yes.
And slowing down from drinking, truly. Day 7 of no alcohol, which is nice. I always do dry January. But I was talking to my wife, Bree, just a key at heart. You know what I'm saying? And just in case if y'all don't like, subscribe, follow her too. It all comes back to the household. So, and LPZ got his little tag. Go ahead and put it in the comments if you got something and you want to throw that in there.
Yep. Landon and Bree, put your stuff in the comments.
But yeah, the drinking, there's a lot of side effects to alcohol. And I think as we get older, I know as we get older, it impacts our body so much more, with the brain fog, the tiredness, overeating, more depressive behaviors that you get from a depressant of alcohol. So just trying to slow down of drinking. I was telling Bree, I think now moving forward, obviously I'm not going to drink this month of January. Probably have just a few drinks in February, but just slowing down. Like if I'm going to drink, it's only going to be social. I'll probably end up giving my alcohol away at the house to somebody, but it's just doing more stuff that's socialized drinking versus doing I never really drink at home anyways, unless there's people over. But if we don't even have it at the house, then we don't even got nothing to drink but water.
Yeah. Well, you got this, brother. You got this. I think.
I got one more. Ahead. And then always working on being authentic. I got a new job. So I'm working on building relationships with all those people at the new gig, and I got to give a presentation on Tuesday to some juvenile court officers, which should be pretty dope. But working on just authentic, just being myself, always having fun at work, and some of those things. It's hard. It's easier said than done, but you got to try it one day at a time and keep going at it and being consistent with it. What you got?
For me also, I'm doing dry January as one as well as one as well. And then just really like you were saying, as you get older and with your health, y'all, I gained over the past couple years. I've packed them on, and drinking has to probably for sure be a contributor to that. So right now, just this year is paying attention to my health. I'm on a cleanse right now. I'm hungry as shit, but it's okay. I'll be fine. Um, so basically, just focusing on my health, losing weight, and then dry January. But as the same as you, once February hits, just drinking more socially, but still limiting my drinks and not drinking at the house. I've gotten better. I haven't really been drinking at the house too much towards the end of the year, just drinking at other people's houses. So
Yeah, for sure.
limiting that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Saving money and making money. I'm getting the bag this year. I'm saving money,
We gonna say
making
that
money,
money.
and then career wise, just everything I'm trying to do in that entrepreneurial spirit is going to come to fruition this year. So dedication and focus, and hopefully I'm gonna get me a man this year. I'm gonna
Let's
be ready.
go.
I'm gonna get me a
Let's
little
go.
I'm gonna get a little booski. And just, yeah, that's really it. But also I want to get back into going to church. I want to find a church home this year.
The thing with churches though, and
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? You got to find a good one. That's the only thing about churches. So it's like I got a thing with churches only because when we say about community of Christ, community of God,
Mhm.
there's also a lot of judgment that takes place in those communities. So be careful. Find you a good home. I think it'd probably be Bree and I might, I mean, we might start getting back out there to look at some churches.
Mhm.
Um, but it's hard because judgment is real, and it's so strange when you go and you get involved in the community, but like it's inauthentic.
Mm.
We are imperfect beings. That's the way God made us. He died for our sins. We give him grace. We give him love. We thank him, but we are imperfect beings. And it's hard to like join communities where it feels inauthentic. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So if you find one, we'll pray for you. We'll keep you in our prayers so that you can find you a good church family. Because when he gets into that nitty gritty, some of them layers start to unravel themselves, and it's like, ugh,
Yeah.
why y'all
That's
doing us like this?
right. So then that's what I'm looking for too, is a church home, and pray for me as well that I find a place for me, and that judgment factor. Yes, we are imperfect beings. We supposed to be in the church house.
Right, right. Facts, facts, facts. Mhm.
um. Oh, let me read a couple comments. All right. I stream on Twitch. Oh, this is Landon. Check him out, you guys. So I have his stuff up. Thank you for sharing. Y'all out here showing out. You guys are showing out. Okay. Hold on. Another comment. you probably got to find somebody to go with too and try it with somebody else to see if it's good. Yes. Partner up to get you a. When me and Bridget were, when I first moved here, we were looking for a church. So me and her, first I was just going to church by myself. And then me and her partnered up and we would visit churches. And I think the second church that we found, Living Word Bible Church, was the church that we went. I think I went there for like 3 years. She's still there. It is if anyone's in the Phoenix area, Mesa, Living Word Bible Church is a good church. It just was time for me to move on for personal reasons. But
Oh, sure.
yeah. There's certain things that I needed. And maybe God might send me back that way. You never know. But that's a good, thanks for sharing that, Landon.
I can dig it. I can dig it.
Do you have a word? Well, okay. Hold on. We talked about all these resolutions, and you guys drop your resolutions in there as well. But the next part is like being consistent, the consistency, and how do
Yeah.
you stay on track?
Are you asking me how
Because
I
it's
stay on
hard,
track?
after the first. Yeah, I'm asking how you planning on staying on track, and what's some advice you can give others? Because I feel like Tim, I feel like you have way more. I know some people hate this word, discipline. I feel like you're kind of a disciplined guy.
Yeah. So
Or am I wrong?
yeah, I am. It all comes from playing sports. In all honesty, we had to wake up at a certain time. We had to be there for a certain time. We had to be locked in, ready to compete at a certain time. It all comes from playing sports. But now then applying it to your life, it's just a matter of, and this is easier said than done.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want it or not? So if I set a goal, do I really want this goal? Is this really attainable? Or am I just not living in reality and making up some foo-foo? That's the first and foremost thing that you got to be real with about. And being real with yourself is one of the hardest until about 6 p.m. Being real with yourself is probably one of the hardest things to do. Working out is, I'll always work out. I want to work out. That's my getaway. That's my sanctuary where I get back tapped in with who of my body and spirit and all of those things. Now on dieting and eating healthy, it ain't there, cuz. It ain't there, cuz. So I have a lot of gaps of growth and being consistent, but number one thing though is, and the reason why working out is I'm consistent with that is because that's also my mental health. That's a part. If I don't work out, then I'm like grumpy and all of that. So, but yeah, that's what working out is attached to that. That's where the discipline comes in. That I don't miss a workout is because I need to have it for my brain, my health, my brain, my head. Gotta have it. But eating, doing any kind of like, I think before we went to Mexico for our wedding, I was pretty for like 3 months. For about 3 months, we were solid on the food. You heard? Yeah, we were solid. I got to like 178, I think, before we got on that flight from Mexico. That was probably the lowest I've been in a while. Yeah, we was getting right. But after that, it was over with. You know, I gotta have my mozzarella sticks, cheese curds, fried wing. You feel me? Like I gotta have it.
I think consistency is weird for me. But I can be consistent when I want to. It's either you want it or you don't. Like when I seen that, when I got on that scale, when I got back 200, 200. Nah, bruh.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's tough. Yeah, no. That like, no, because I am a 41-year-old woman at that. 200. I gotta take my health seriously. I'm trying to live.
Facts.
This isn't a joke. God willing, I'm still hoping A baby gets put in this womb with some prayers, miracles, and IVF. So I got to drop it, bring it on down.
Bring it on down,
And then
down,
there's
down,
all
down.
these goals that I want to do, saving and doing this. I want to have the energy. I want to feel good. So it's either you want it or you don't. And there's a fire in me. Nothing's going to stop what I have for 2024. Nothing.
Well, go get it.
Oh my
Go
God.
get it.
I'm gonna
Go
get so
get
that
it.
consistency. I can have, get with people to help hold me accountable. But at the end of the day, you gotta hold yourself accountable.
What do you want?
What do you want? Forget.
Ain't nobody else gonna get it for you. What do you want?
Yes, it's good to have what is it? Peer partners, accountability partners, they're important. Encourage, all these things are important. But when it boils down to you, because your peer partner, your accountability partner could fall off too. And you both just fell off together.
And low key, a lot of times those don't work because you pick your friend. And your friend is always going to side with you instead of telling you what you need to do and need to hear.
Okay, that's true.
That's a fact.
Or that true. Like, you know what, Tim, 3 weeks while I was there visiting in Iowa, I worked out with Tim and he like challenged me. I actually had to sweat. I actually had to work out. Tim actually like hurt my feelings. But it wasn't, I had to like look beyond that. I mean, you wasn't like, you were saying I didn't listen. I'm not a good listener. I'm working. I got to work on that. But he like
Dude,
said it so stern. It
stop.
wasn't mean, but it was just like matter of fact.
Let me explain this. For those who is listening that go work out, if someone is explaining something to you and your partner still does it wrong for the third time in a row, I told her, I showed her an example with me doing it, still did it wrong. I said, Tamika, for 2024, you have to work on active listening. And I said it like that, and she got mad at me.
I did.
I was like, why are you mad? I'm like, bro, I didn't explain it 3 times, and I showed you a physical example. You got to listen. Baby girl, you got to listen.
Facts. So that's the Landon. Yes, the truth hurts. I was butthurt. That's facts. But the consistency, I think it's in here. I got the fire under my belly, and I think we both do. Get it. Let's get to a couple comments. Let's see what's anyone else says about resolution. Okay, Landon, you blowing us up in here. So Landon says, I don't believe in resolutions. People need to stop waiting till the new year to be better. I agree.
But the thing about the new year is the reset. And that's why you have it, to reset, recalibrate. Because we don't fall off. But that's why consistency is important, so you don't fall off.
Right. Brianne, she said, until about 6 p.m. That's what you're saying earlier. It's hard. Oh, who else has? Oh, Brandon said, that could be my resolution, probably to diet too. We're doing good. Okay, so the next thing, I did have a question about this. So we said releasing. Oh, hold on. Brianne has let me read hers. She said, my resolution is to manifest what I deserve and eliminate old programming that says I don't believe in myself or I'm not deserving. I like that. And that goes along with the next part, the releasing part. Release. And what's interesting, releasing, do you have a word for 2024? If you had one word.
I'll probably do gratitude.
Okay. And interesting enough, mine was releasing. So how are you going to practice these having more gratitude and that being your word?
Well, I think a lot of times we get caught up in our like day to day, and we don't just take in that we're able to breathe, we're able to walk, we're able to come home to, well, I guess in my case, I shouldn't say we, I'm able to come home to a family that loves me, cares for me. My car works. I have a good job. You know, because of social media, because of other peer influences that are out there, we get caught up in all that other glitz and glamour of all the stuff that we want or need, but we don't really need it. We want it. And it's like, let's be grateful for what we got. You know, we have a lot. We have a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but we forget how much stuff we have because we're caught up in the whirlwind of Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, what have you, whatever your vice is.
Mm-hmm.
Stuck up in that and think that we need all of that.
I like that.
Hmm.
Um, we have a couple words. What they have. Um, well, Tim, I do want to say about your gratitude. There are. I have a journal that I have a gratitude journal,
Yeah.
and each day you write 3 things that you're grateful for.
Hmm. That's beautiful.
It's beautiful. So that's how you can keep that going every day, like just when you're doing your workout or just saying, or the first thing, when you wake up. The first thing I say when I wake up is, today's the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. That's what I say in my head. Yours
You
could
should
be
start
something
saying it
else.
out loud.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, say it out loud so you speak it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. My word is releasing. Releasing is, I chose that word of any old energy, any behaviors that I don't want to carry into 2024. It's released. It's not me. It's not on me. It's not a representative of who I am. And that those actions or those bad habits aren't representative of who I want to be. So it's more me just walking into who I want to be. And that goes into that consistency
Hmm.
and standing in it and holding myself accountable. So my word is releasing. So let's get to the comments. Landon says his word is grind.
Grinding.
Yes. Um, just a key at heart. She said, I have 2. Release and abundance, actually. And then, hey girl, hey, Sheba 1121. Her word is fearless.
Mm.
I love it. So this release kind of goes into all of that. So
Facts.
like, yeah, so you have to release to get to the
Hmm.
new.
Get that weight off you
But why is it hard for us to release?
because we don't want to let it go.
Really? We
I think
don't
there's a
want.
lot of fear, like the word fearless. There's a lot of fear in releasing. You get comfortable in the skin that you're in, you get comfortable in the situation that you're in. You get what's the word I'm looking for? Complacent.
Mhm.
So then when I say I'm releasing it, now I have to change, right? I got to. You know, my words say I'm releasing, but my actions is doing something different. It's hard. There's fear, there's anxiety, and it's anxiety inducing. You know, there's things that go into that to know like, damn, do I really want to release this, or do I need to release something first before I release this? So I think there's steps and levels to it.
And another thing, it's not comfortable. It's not
Facts.
comfortable to change. It is comforting sometimes to live in your bad, to be in your bad habits, to be in your hurt, to be
Hmm.
in your fear. Um, I think there's some comfort in that. Um, this is interesting. Just speaking of the word fear, you're so comfortable in your stuff, you project it onto other people.
Facts.
And I have a goddaughter. She's out 19 years old out in the world. And I was talking to her mom and I say, you know, she's in the military and eventually she'll be out and everybody's going to tell her what she should do with her life. People our age, oh, you should do this because of that. They're going to put their fears on her and project their things they haven't released because we've lived longer, right? We've built up all this stuff. And I said, what I pray for her is she's not bombarded by that. She goes live her life. She will make mistakes,
Mm-hmm.
but know that she can come back. And I hope us adults don't put our dump our
Stuff
stuff
on
on
her.
her.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just interesting. Um, but yes. And then releasing like another thing that I thought about like releasing is just hurt.
Mm,
Just choosing to forgive.
mm-hmm.
And when it comes back, I'm going to choose it again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's releasing. Let me see what. Yes, okay. What did Brienne say? Just a key at heart said, and you have to be self aware enough to know you need to release. Oh, that's fact. And self awareness is like, I will tell you this I didn't have self awareness for the longest. And sometimes I catch myself not being unaware. Like, I'm like, the hell? Like, oh, you be thinking about stuff, you're like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
And that takes work to even gain that.
Facts.
I like what she said. It takes work to release.
Mm-hmm.
And it ain't always
Everyday work. Everyday work.
every day. Oh man. We gonna do it this year. So you guys got your resolutions ready.
We gonna make it. We
We
gonna
gonna
make it.
make it.
We gonna.
Consistency. And that starts with you. You gotta want it. But what are some steps do you think? I like some steps that can help somebody in the right direction to gain that consistency.
I think first you need to journal. You need to figure out what you're actually trying to release. I think that's number one.
Mhm,
I think when we think about releasing as a whole, there's so much that we want to give up about ourselves, but we need to figure out, and this is where the work comes in, is we got to figure out what it actually is that's holding me back. Or that's where that deep reflection takes place, that's where the journaling comes in, where I can deeply reflect on what I'm aiming to release. And I think you can also get feedback from other people as far as what are some things that you notice about me when this happens, or when this happens. You know what I'm saying? Like just being open to what they have to say to that.
mhm,
And then from that feedback, now you can work on that self-awareness piece that Just Akia Hart was talking about.
mhm,
Because a lot of times we bring our energy into spaces and aren't even aware of the energy that we're bringing into spaces. We think that we're masking it, but in
mhm,
actuality, you may be triggered that whole time that you're there, where you're trying to put on a front, and then when someone says something, you might have just snapped, and then now you're trying to like, oh my bad, my bad, my bad. So
mhm.
journaling, I would say journaling is going to be very helpful. And then if you're into the therapy space, having that
Mhm,
conversation with your therapist. Obviously, it takes time for the therapist to get to know you. But if you're like deep into the therapy, you can ask questions to your therapist about what some of that stuff looks like. But I would always say journaling is always going to be your friend, because that's just you and yourself and the
mhm,
notebook or computers, whatever you want to take your notes or journal on. It's just you and yourself, so that you can get that deep reflection time and being okay in that empty space. Sometimes I think we get afraid of being alone with our own thoughts. So being okay, being alone with those thoughts, which also takes some time and some work. And then not giving up. I think a lot of times we give up so fast. We regress so fast.
mhm.
as soon as there's a curveball or something doesn't go our way or we get a little bit of adversity, we regress. We go right back to our old ways. So just keep fighting, keep working every day. Every day is not going to be the same. Some days are going to be easier on your journey than others. And just add up those good days versus those bad days. Count them up, and those good days are going to start to outweigh those bad days. And then I also think it starts with the things that you think about as soon as you wake up. That's why I said that when you were talking about when you say that stuff in your head, I was like, speak it out loud, say it. Our brains can be altered in so many different ways by the things that we actually speak when we say it. So start speaking that stuff into life.
Okay. Speak life, not death.
Straight up though. We speak that negative self-talk when we talk so poorly about ourselves, that's speaking death into our body. Why do we need to do that? If we want to release, you gotta let it go. Let it go. Say it one time and it's out. It's gone. Let it go. You said he was released. Let it go then.
Let it go. We play things on a loop.
Let it go.
Well, how about say something positive on a loop about yourself?
There you go. Yep.
We're going to end with this comment. That's the power of manifesting. Say it until you become it. Vision it, and you will become it. Okay. Thank you. You guys, thank you for joining in. I'm excited about this year. I'm excited about Divine Honey Podcast. I'm excited about my goals. I'm excited about y'all's goals. And we're going to do some check-ins. We got to do a mid-year check-in to see how everybody's doing and how we're coming along, and give some encouragement. So, you guys, if you enjoyed this conversation, please subscribe, hit that notification button. You don't want to miss another episode. If you're interested, or you know anyone that's interested in being a guest, or if there's a topic that you would like us to really touch on, you guys send me an email. And this is where you can email your girl at bougiegirl@gmail.com. That's BOOSHEGURL@gmail.com. Do you want to leave the folks with any parting words, OG Johnson?
Be nice to yourselves.
Until next time, you guys. Peace and blessings. Love y'all.